do. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, June 23rd. All right, quick sound check here. We'll get jumping in. Hope everybody had a good weekend. If we got any Thunder fans here in the building, congrats to all the Thunder fans. I feel for Indiana though. It's a tough way to go down. But all right, guys. Looks like we are good on the audio. So, futures are green, which is pretty impressive given the weekend action. So, from a price action and a signals perspective, here's my conundrum. If you look at a monthly QQQ, a weekly QQQ, a daily QQQ, everything's still pretty bullish. So here's daily QQQ futures, and you've got the squeeze setting up. We have 13 of the 15 criteria. The trend, the structure, momentum. We are above our 21 EMA. Until that changes, I only want to buy it. The issue is you look at your 4-hour chart, your 2-hour, your 1 hour, 30, 15, 5-minute. They're all kind of sloppy and neutral. So, for example, if you look at the hourly NQ, is it terrible? No, it's not terrible, but it's got a big goose egg. 0 points out of 15. Can't get much more neutral than that. Under the 200 SMA, no buy signals, no stacked EMAs. If you look at a 4-hour NQ, again, is it bad? No, it's not bad, but it's a -3 with neutral trend, neutral structure, bear momentum. So it can make for a tough spot where, from a swing trade perspective, if I'm trying to jump in here and get short, that looks a little bit more like we're getting 1 or 2 closes back below the 21 EMA. And then you've got a 5-minute sell signal, 15-minute, 30-minute hourly, all of these sell signals. So till that happens, I'm not calling for a short. I can day trade a short or scalp it. But if I want to jump in and buy it, I got to get that 5-minute buy signal, 15-minute, 30-minute. The more, the merrier. So from a swing trade point of view, tough to want to jump in and do too much here. They break it, get a couple of sell triggers. Are you maybe a little bit late to the party? Sure. But I think at that point, it's a much better short. And then vice versa, a couple of buy signals come through. Could be a daily squeeze trying to fire to the upside. So that's kind of the $1 million question. Do they break it long or do they break it short? To be determined. And then if you look over here at the rankings on the spreadsheet, they kind of paint that picture of, you look at a monthly chart, it's bullish. You got the structure, stacked EMAs, momentum. You look at a weekly QQQ, weekly S&Ps, they got better structure, they got better momentum. Daily charts are pretty sharp, but the scores are just neutral. They lean a little bit bullish, but they got the indexes with, 17% of their best score. Not all that bearish, not all that bullish. The Big Ten basket's at 36%, and the sectors are at 19%. In most cases, makes for a better day trade market. Not crazy bullish, not crazy bearish. If things remain neutral, what can happen is you go run a scan for a weekly squeeze, a daily squeeze. So a good example could be something like crowd, which I might be looking to buy this week. We shall see. But if the market remains neutral, good looking weekly chart, good looking daily chart, 15-minute a little bit sloppy, hourly leaves a little bit to be desired. What can happen is we're not breaking out, making a push towards all-time highs. We're not breaking down, taking out support. It's more of the pop it, the dip, all the ugly back and forth. You get into that kind of market, even things like crowd got this beautiful daily squeeze, perfect scores, the buy signals. In a good market, a stronger QQQ, a stronger S&P behind it. You buy that at your 21 EMA, you look for a breakout. Nice, easy peasy swing trade. Get into more of a neutral market. They just don't work as well. So things to keep in mind there. And then for the cash indexes, I imagine here at the open, everything will just be neutral. No 1 hour buy signal, no 1 hour sell signal, no 15-minute. Tough to want to be too aggressive here out the gate. But a couple levels here for you guys. So for the put wall and the call wall levels, which I've become a really big fan of, we got the put wall down here at 5,900. And if you look at the hourly SPX, you have the hourly 200 around 5,940. I think you want to keep an eye on that level this week. Again, good looking weekly chart, good looking daily chart. If they get to a point where the hourly is below the 200 SMA, it's not a market gearing up for a big breakout. If anything, from a short term point of view, can make shorts a lot easier. 5,940 and 5,900. And until things change, you got a call wall up here at 6,100. And I could totally see that. They hold their 21 EMA. They go get a 15-minute buy signal, 30-minute hourly buy signals, good internals, strong big tech. Right, they push it, they kick back to the 21. They keep it moving, they kick back, they keep it moving. But tough to think they can get that breakout if it's a neutral hourly, a bearish 30-minute, bearish 15-minute. They got to get the goods from the ground up. But all right, guys, so a few things I do like here. But I think a big part of the theme this week, S&Ps and QQQ first, then Tesla, then NVIDIA, then Netflix, then Crowd. Indexes, then the stocks. Now, one I wanted to buy this week over here in the rooms was HIMS. And now the question is, if you like HIMS at 64 bucks, do we like her all the way down here at 48 bucks? So that one we'll put on the back burner for now. Quite the thumping. And then for Crowd, I do like Crowd. And not to be a broken record, I'll like Crowd for an entry. Because I can like the daily squeeze, I can admire the setup. To actually jump in and put my cash into it, I want QQQ S&Ps above their own 21 EMA, 30-minute buy signals, hourly, all of the triggers for a pop. If we can't get that, I'm maybe just watching Crowd. But all right, you have a daily 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute squeeze. Good comparison here. Okay, so we had bought Crowd. Come on. So in the rooms, we had bought Crowd on that candle. Caught the pump, caught the gap up, caught the push. We love trades like that. You buy out on a Monday and you cash out on a Tuesday. All right, so you've got your daily squeeze white arrow. And right now you got the same thing, daily squeeze white arrow. The difference is when you're jumping in buying Crowd back here, let me blow up the screenshot. Daily chart for daily chart, it's the same exact moment in time. The difference is back here, Crowd has a 2-hour buy signal, a 1-hour, a 30-minute, a 15-minute, and a 5. All right, green label means a buy signal. So it's your daily squeeze sets the stage. You got compression, big squeeze, the structure, momentum. All by itself, I can set the stage for a push towards 2.5 to 3 ATR. So think of that like a big piece of dynamite. Then what you're trying to find is a 15-minute buy signal, a 30-minute and hourly. That kind of alignment from the ground up, that can go and light the fuse. So the current Crowd here currently, daily squeeze, white arrow. But right now, your 2-hour chart's neutral. Back here, it's bullish. 1-hour neutral, 30-minute neutral. Back here, they're bullish. 15-minute bearish, 5-minute bearish, and back here, they're bullish. This is kind of the theme across the board. Not really a Crowd thing, more of a market thing. Bullish on the weekly chart, bullish on the daily time frame. 15-minute, little ugly. Hourly chart, little eh. Cause for patience, guys. But I'm going to keep an eye here on crowd. They got a call wall at 500. So the trade I would like to do would be something like, maybe looking at a July 18th. Maybe something like a 490 500 call debit spread. Take your daily squeeze, get better alignment. Debit spread towards the call wall. All right, next up is Netflix. A few of you might have heard of this one. So we got quite the squeeze fest in Netflix right now. Daily squeeze, a 4 hour in hourly, 2 hour, 30-minute, 15, and the 5. So no lack of compression. From a day trade point of view, you could look at a 30-minute squeeze here. Again, indexes first, then Netflix. But for a short-term trade, you buy at 12:30, take profit at 12:50. Yeah, it's a pretty good-looking 30 and really good-looking hourly squeeze. From more of a swing trade approach, I'm going to buy calls that expire, 20, 30, 40 days out. When you look at the daily and the 4 hour squeeze, in terms of the big three, trend really good. Really, really good on Netflix. They got trend, they got structure, 21 above the 50, stack DMAs. If you're trying to catch a huge breakout, a big leg higher, the only thing you're really missing right now is momentum. With the MACD bars back below zero. So a good example would be the Bitcoin futures weekly squeeze. And if you have good trend and good structure, but you're lacking momentum, you can get one of these situations. All right, Bitcoin, big push, pull back, big push. They pull back in the chop. Good structure, stack DMAs, 21 above the 50, 50 above your 200. Trend behind it. You've got no momentum for a breakout. Negative cross, MACD back below zero. Right, and they flush it and they pop it and they flush it, they pop it, they flush it, they pop it. Granted, this is Bitcoin futures. Imagine that's Google and you're trying to buy the 30, 40, 50 day till expiration calls. You get a little traction going and then back down you go, back up, back down you go. Then you get that positive shift. MACD back above zero, big squeeze, trend structure. At that point, easier to get that breakout and that big directional move. So that being said, for the daily and the 4 hour for Netflix, could be a really big swing trade if they could get the white arrow. And they can get it on a momentum shift. If not, could be a little choppier. Get the 1250 call wall, get the highs. And I'll show you guys a 4 hour squeeze here real quick. So looking for a white arrow on that one. Next up is NVIDIA. Put wall at 140 and a call wall, I believe, at 150. So NVIDIA is kind of stuck here, as is the market. 4 hour, 2 hour, hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute squeeze. But if you look at it from a 4 hour chart down to a 5-minute, no buy signals. So patience on the NVIDIA. If they could take their 15-minute squeeze, the 30-minute, the hourly, rebuild structure, get better momentum, get buy signals, get white arrows, then I would love a 145, 150 call debit spread, butterfly, really anything for a path towards 150. If it's a little bit more the opposite, they got a 15-minute sell signal, they get a 30. Not the end of the world, but maybe a kickback towards 140. Which, mind you, that'd be your first kickback to your daily 21 since the end of April. It done been a while. But all right, got the Netflix, got the NVIDIA, showed you guys crowd. Another good-looking daily squeeze is Johnny Deere. Weekly squeeze here is pretty solid too. Got the white arrow, the structure, all the fixins, and then a few of the bank stocks. We took a little profit out of JP Morgan last week. So JP Morgan looking pretty good. You got Goldman. You got the BA and the C. Here's the interesting thing about the financials. I like Goldman. I think JP looks pretty good. BAC. If you pull up the XLF, it's a little mediocre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closes under the 21 EMA. Negative MACD shift. 4 or 5 bars ago. 15-minute sell signal. 30-minute sell signal. Looking at a Goldman or looking at a JP Morgan, you would think the XLF looks a little bit more like them. So found that interesting. And then next up is Palo Alto. So here's what I really like about this one from potential timing standpoint. Weekly squeeze setting up, white arrow, perfect scores. If you guys look down here at momentum, you had a negative cross back in December of last year. And they flush it, they pop it, they flush it, they pop it. You're getting that white arrow on that fresh positive cross. So now it's a big, really big weekly squeeze with great chart structure, great trend behind it. And now as far as momentum goes, you're basically getting a fresh tank of gas. All right, negative, 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 then the positive cross. Doesn't guarantee they go and break it out, but again, from a timing point of view, those can be pretty sweet. So weekly squeeze there for Palo, and then for the 2-day squeeze, got a couple of white arrows, and then the 4, the 2, the 130, and the 15. But probabilities-wise, choppy S&Ps, choppy QQQ, could give you a choppier Palo Alto. S&P's taken out last week's high, QQQ taken out last week's high, clear path into the all-time highs. Yeah, then these kinds of things should work pretty good. That's a part we got to figure out. All right, couple more for you. Showed you John Deere. We did the Netflix, did the crowd. Rest in peace to hymns. All right, final one here, a little off the beaten path. Would be the brand new daily squeeze here for Snowflake. And what I think what makes it interesting is you bottom back here at $100. And you push, you pull back, you push, you pull back. It's kind of been nonstop action. If they can give it another, call it 2, 3, 4, 5 days of a daily squeeze, right, pull it back a bit, little chop. This is it's basically your first chill pill since your bottom. Take it lower, put in the bottom, squeeze out the shorts, push, push, push. All right, now they're taking the breather, catching their breath. Daily squeeze builds out. Look for a 30-minute buy signal, 15-minute. Could be one to keep an eye on. But all right, guys, for me, it's more of a S&P QQQ thing. And, taking my cue from the spreadsheet, if the scores are made neutral, not crazy bullish, not knocking off your socks, just a little bit bullish, it can make for a market where the weekly squeezes, the 3-day time frames, monthly charts, daily charts, it can get a lot harder for those kinds of things to work. And then meanwhile, your 5-minute squeezes, 15-minute, 30-minute, that might be an easier plate of opportunity. So yeah, it'll be an interesting week ahead. And then I believe for next week, somebody quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe we have a half day for the market on Thursday and then close for the 4th on Friday. So as the old saying goes, don't blow your account before Independence Day. Yeah, so CZD Day, good morning, my friend. Yeah, him's taking quite the shellacking here. Is one way to put it. I don't know the exact news, but these healthcare slash bio slash pharma, these kinds of stocks can be very subject to these kinds of news moves. Yeah, pretty nasty indeed. It's a real shame because I had a nice daily squeeze going. But news is the news. Yeah, bull bear buddy. Next week we had a half day on Thursday, and then markets are closed on Friday. I'll double check the Thursday thing. Um, I know we got a half day here at Simpler, which means there's a 99.99% chance there's a. Oh, the week after. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm a little early to the party. Thanks, Lorna. All right, Brandon. What's up, Brandon? Brandon's got some TEM, and then JR's looking at Broadcom. Okay, TEM. I like it. 15 out of 15 points, trend structure, and the Momo above the daily 21 EMA buy zone. And not a TEM thing, more of a market thing. Really good looking daily chart with no 5 minute buy trigger, no 15, no 30, no 1, no 2, no 4. Right, green label means buy signal and blue label means neutral. And neutral can be a little bit more bearish. It can be a little bit more can be a little bit more bullish, can be a little bit more bearish, but it's not. It ain't good enough. So now the key would be again indexes first. Can the S&Ps, can the QQQ above their own 21 EMA buy zone give you a 5 minute buy trigger, 15, all the above? If they can do that, perfect. Then you're looking at TEM. We got the structure, 15 points above the buy zone. Okay, perfect. 15-minute buy signal comes through, 30-minute buy signal comes through. Now I got a good looking setup at a good level with good triggers and potentially a good market behind it. But yeah, it's a solid one for sure. Definitely. So yeah, Don says Novo Nordisk terminated their partnership with Hims. So you're telling me it's Novo's fault, huh, Don? Novo to blame. All right, JR has the Broadcom. Right, same conversation. Daily chart at the buy zone, buy signals, good structure. Neutral 5, 15, 4 hour, 2 hour. It's an easier long above your 21 with a lot of green. And it's a much easier short below that 21 with a lot of red. 30-minute chart flips bearish, hourly chart flips bearish. To me, blue means no edge. Jump in, buy it, jump in, short it. Way too much of a coin flip. We want to do a little better than the coin flip. All right, guys. Okay, so it is next week, right? Okay, yeah, it's next week. All right. We're all a little tired today. So yeah, 4th of July is next Friday. Okay, good. I'll be sitting here next Friday saying, "Where is everybody?" Yeah, what day is it? Hey, good morning, Mike. SSN got you covered. Oh, SN. I'm sorry. I'm seeing things. So for a shorter term idea, here's a little bit of the opposite. You are above your 21 EMA, but you have a 5 minute buy, you have a 15, you have a 30. If they can keep that, there might be a short term path from 90 back into 95 ish. You got the 200 SMA up there. But it's an example of okay, we're at the buy zone, and I actually have buy triggers. 5-minute chart says, hey, you might want to get long. 15-minute confirms it. 30-minute says the same thing. Versus, say, NVIDIA right now, 1-hour chart, I got nothing for you. 30-minute, nothing for you. 15-minute, 5-minute, feeling a little friskier to the downside, potentially. All right, Rams got Dell and GNL. Dell, yeah, I don't see any issues here. Squeeze trying to fire long. 4-hour bullish, 2-hour, 30-minute. Yeah, Dell's pretty sharp. I think you like that until you're back below your 21 EMA, and then GNL. For me, it'd be more of a short. Scoreboard gives us -13, broken structure, broken momentum. Right? They dump it, rally back to resistance. They dump it, rally back, dump it, rally back. But the same rules apply. I want to short that under the falling 21 with a 5-minute sell signal, 15-minute, 30-minute, some sort of sell signal. Hey, good morning, Joe. How are you, my friend? Design indicator. Joe, let me take a screenshot of that, and then, yeah, that's an interesting thought, actually. I'm gonna take a screenshot of your comment there, and then, yeah, it's pretty interesting, actually. I shall report back. All right, and then let me poke over here to YouTube. Good morning there, Daniel. Good morning, Claudia. So, Claudia, something I'm taking for a test drive right now. Test drive meaning making sure it actually works, which I found is a, a good practice. So let me take this watch list here. So, and I got to jump in a few minutes, guys. But to make a long story short, we launched the White Arrows back in June of last year. And since June of last year, we've closed about 90 trades with 63 wins, 26 losses. So that's like a 71-ish% win rate. So point being, when you think of your trading system, there's two variables. You have the win rate, and then you have your average win, average loss. And I think win rate is a big function of the quality of the setups, the context of the market, et cetera, et cetera. And then I think your average win, average loss, that's very much tied to your entries and your exits. So now I'm thinking, okay, for our next 100 trades, how can we get a little bit better? For one, can we up the win rate? But more importantly, can we even up the average win, average loss, that ratio? So being that I think a big part of that, or all of that, is your entries. What I'm working on here for the watch list columns is, so John Deere on your daily squeeze, you have a bright green A+. And what the bright green A+ means, you have a squeeze with an A+ arrow. So you got the squeeze, white arrow, perfect score, etc. You've got our ideal moment in time, but you're right near the ideal buy zone, which I'm playing around with, but I'm kind of liking 1.25 ATR, above and below that 21 EMA. And then if you look at, say, Palantir on the 2-day time frame, that one has a darker green A+. And what that means is, same setup, squeeze white arrow, but a little bit above that 1.25 ATR buy zone. Doesn't mean I ignore it, doesn't mean I can't jump in and buy it. But it's a decent reminder, hey, if I buy it up here at 137, I should buy it in a fashion where I'm trying to buy more down around maybe 130. Maybe taking more of a scaling approach where something like, say, a Netflix 1-hour squeeze, a bright green A+. Okay, perfect. I can buy that at 1230, and I'm wrong below 1223. Got the setup, got the trigger, and a really good entry. So I'm going to keep on taking that through a test drive, and then we'll get working on the update here sometime soon. I'll keep you guys and gals posted. But all right, y'all, happy Monday. Welcome back. Make it a good week. Again, from my point of view, it's a tough spot to want to get crazy aggressive for swing trades. I like the monthly time frames. I like the weeklies. I like the dailies. And I can take trades based on those bigger time frames when I get lower time frame triggers. So I shall be awaiting for that. But all right, guys, happy Monday. Thank you again. For those of you in my room and the main room, I'll catch you there in a minute. For the rest of you, catch you on Wednesday. Adios.